Live from the Export Beer Garden Studios, this is the feature-length Thursday agenda for the 3rd of August.
The Agenda, an alternative commentary collective podcast.
G'day there, welcome along to the agenda featuring myself, G Lane, Manaia Stewart and Matt Heath. G'day, fellas.
Present.
Yeah, Manaia Stewart, Team Jacob. I just never really trusted that Edward fella. Twilight series.
He got really royally screwed, didn't he?
Yeah, I just always more associated with Jacob, but that's not what we're here to discuss, is it?
No, it's not. Let's get into the first topic on the agenda. The All Blacks absolutely humped Australia. We've covered it off at length on Radio Aoraki, on the sports chat, and on the dailies. But
Did you see Chris Ratu's headline?
What did he go for?
No.
It's like Fozzie Bear at the top of his game. The coach at the top of his game. It's like
after saying head on a block for like the last 6 months.
Baying for blood for over a year.
Because I joke about it with you guys on Hauraki Breakfast. It's like, if the All Blacks lose, I want his head on a block. If they win, knight him. Okay?
Yeah.
And we've kind of been quite facetious about this, but this is an actual genuine,
he's a genuine reporter.
Mainstream reporter who's flip-flopping.
I feel like it wouldn't be too hard to do that. Like, if that's just what you wanted to do, just zag after everything, you know, just whatever because you can predict what the main headlines are going to be. So you just toss the coin, flip it on the other side, and just go exactly the opposite of what everyone else is saying.
Sometimes I feel like that's what Rats does. I've
100%
seen poor Chris Ratu, because I think he's renowned as the hot take rat.
Yeah.
And I've seen him. He works in the same building as us. I've seen the hot rat quite lonely sitting on a park bench in Vic Park, just staring, fuck my life.
Staring at the bridge, just going, I wish I hadn't burned all of those down in my personal life.
I used to get Mark Watson used to get him on ZB.
Watto
on Radio Sport, I think it was. I think there was a bit of a ZB crossover there as well. And I was surprised the first time I heard him talk, because he was sort of so magnanimous. And like in his writing, he was like right down the middle, burn the world to the ground, kill everyone. And then when we'd bring on with Watto, and he'd be like, "Oh yeah, okay, no, I think that guy's all right. You know, I quite like the Warriors. No, they're okay."
I never want to see someone lose their job. So
I think Mark What's-a-face we used to call him.
Yeah.
We used to drive him mad when we used to call him Mark What's-his-face.
Oh my God.
Then we got a hiding from Jesse Ryder in the Fight for Life.
He turned his back on Jesse Ryder.
He turned up in a pair of sneakers as well, and Jesse Ryder was like, "I am gonna fucking knock your head off," and he did.
Well, because Jesse Ryder was an athlete, and Mark Watson had run half a triathlon, hadn't he?
Yeah, he had. Hey, I've got something to discuss around. We've picked apart the All Black. We've picked apart dog roll. Got to see great dog roll try. But the pre-match. Now, the haka. Did you catch the haka?
I missed
Matt
the haka.
Heath. No, so the haka got laid down, and then in the middle of it, out comes Alan Alatoa with a boomerang in his hands, and he stepped forward and stepped in front of it and lay it down in front of the haka. Firstly, it looked like a boomerang bought from Sydney Airport.
yes.
You know what I mean? It didn't look like the kind of thing that would kill an animal.
No, it looked like when you forgot to buy your family or your kids
Yeah.
something on your way back through. So you get either one of those squeezy little koala clips, or you get the boomerang,
Yeah.
and
Or
it's
a
got the
Toblerone.
barcode, or a Toblerone.
Yeah. But I'm thinking what would have been a way ballsier move is if the skipper, Alan Alatoa, stood there and like held it and then wound up and just buzzed the haka with the boomerang. So it'd
put
go
it back.
skim over the top of like Adi Savia's forehead, circle back round, come over the back, and then he just holds it, catches it again.
That would have been cool.
Yeah.
What kind of art can you get on it? Because it came up over Aaron Smith's head and then moved up and then up over Dog Roll's. You know, like so we're on an angle, so it's going, oh shit, it's going to take Dog Roll's head off.
Yeah.
It just rises above.
Yeah, well, Sam Whitelock's always hidden away at the back of that formation. So
You get it straight at the back of the head.
I
Him and De Groot.
Yeah, well, or maybe it cuts a single solitary lock off the top of Adi Savia's head as it comes past. I kind of wanted him to just whip it off someone's forehead, you know, a full-on. If it's going to be an affront and you're throwing the challenge down, throw the bloody boomerang right at someone's head.
Or stick it in the ground. You're like, 'cause you can throw it and it goes funk, and just sticks in the ground.
Well, I don't know. Is it a great idea, like, say, in terms of, like, your enemy, giving them the weapon? Like, so you walk into a room with the enemy, you've got your AK-47, you plonk it down in front of them.
It's reverse psychology.
And they go, okay, bum, 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 bum. But also, I don't quite understand boomerangs. So were they supposed to fly over, bonk someone on the head, and then fly back? Or is that just for when you miss?
No, I don't. I think it was just it's just the trajectory of it, so that it's easier to throw at a marsupial hanging in a tree.
Yeah.
So I don't think they were designed to ever come back. I think that people realised that you could actually do it and it would come back. And that's what they became famous for.
That's a mind blower.
Yeah. It's a party trick.
It's a party trick.
Right.
But the value, the utility of them was that it was actually easier to aim because the trajectory was predictable.
Yeah.
So you could knock a koala out of a tree, but they were never like, I can knock the koala out of the tree, but now my stick's gone. I wish it would bounce off the koala and come back to my hand. Like, I don't think that's...
because you still have to go... There's no advantage because you have to go and get the koala that you've killed anyway. So
that's
coming
right.
back to your hand doesn't mean crap unless you're going to go, bang, 1 koala, bang, 2, 3, and then you go and pick them up off the ground.
And then once guns were invented, though, they just became a children's toy because they were like, you could just go down to the park and fling this one around in a full circle.
Where do you think that Boomerang is right now? Because obviously Adi Savia, he did the right thing, and he after the haka, he picked it up and he acknowledged the challenge laid down by Australia. And
he's given it to his kids.
Yeah,
on the way back.
Yeah, he's come through the airport.
And he's gone, well, that's going to save me $19.95 at the airport.
I was wondering that too because he had to give it to someone who was coming off the bench. I can't remember who he gave it to, but he gave it to one of the bench players. They took it back to the bench, and that's such a great point. Where does it end up?
Yeah.
Because when like a famous athlete, like a dear friend of mine, Dirk Nowitzki, I don't know if you guys have heard of him. He came over earlier this year. I had caught up with him. But people that were interviewing him, they kept bringing him gifts, and he's like, what am I supposed to do with this shirt or like hat or thing that this person's given me? Like, I don't know where they expect him to do that. I guess in a team environment, you could take it back to the sheds and then give it to some sort of member of management. But I don't know what people expect people to do with this kind of shit.
Yeah, and it's kind of got me thinking also is what other teams could potentially lay down because they don't really have a war dance. I mean, when we play the likes of Tonga, Samoa, they have a traditional challenge that they can lay down. Fiji, for example. But other teams like Japan, a samurai sword would be pretty mean.
Yes.
If you came up, but I want a full samurai, maybe nunchucks. Are they from Japan? I
don't think so, but
the samurai sword, go full ninja.
Yeah.
I want ninja costume.
And for me, I want a display rather than that was sort of a presentation as a gift, as you mentioned, Heath. Like it wasn't. You're giving the weapon to the enemy. You've taken the ring straight to Mordor and laid it down at Sauron's feet. What I was thinking is, I'd like some sort of display. Obviously, Scotland, they could get the bagpipes going. That was something they did in wartime. In Japan, dogfighting is actually technically still legal. So maybe they just get a couple of roddies at halfway, little fence set up. And just as a display of strength, they have a couple of roddies go hell for leather against each other.
I think they should get an All Blacks fan and whip its head off with the sword. So the haka goes down.
Italy should go back to their Roman roots and like burn 3 or 4 Christians.
France, guillotine. The guillotine.
A guillotine.
Yeah, so they roll out this ginormous guillotine.
They just aggressively let it chop.
An All Black fan, and just watch the All Blacks fans' head roll off going, All Blacks.
Eyes still blinking. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, see, I mean, that would stop me in my tracks. If I was laying down a haka and a guillotine came out and sliced someone's head off, I'd be like...
Well, that's what I mean. It needs to be a display of strength. So many teams just sit there and complain about how the All Blacks have, like, this advantage when they start the game because they get to G themselves up. Well, do your own thing then. Like, no one's stopping you from doing whatever it is you want to do. So if you want to guillotine a peasant at halfway, then do it.
Hey, guys, I've got some bad news. For some insane reason... Radio Hauraki has booked me to go and deliver some pies to some people.
I reckon you could turn up late.
Yeah, well, I'm just getting text messages, we're all waiting for you.
Well, congratulations.
Do they not know that I do the feature-length, full-length bloody agenda podcast at this time every Thursday for all of frickin' history?
I reckon you could probably keep them waiting just for a little bit longer.
Okay.
Because I'm just going to make Manaia sit in front of the door. We're going to have a sit-in. We're going to have a sit-in.
Well, I've just made a lot of money because I had Matt Heath leaves early or shows up late on my bingo card. So I've just hit that jackpot.
I think the main reason why they want to go is because Jeremy needs to get home to go for a swim or something, you know.
The All Blacks this Saturday. We don't mind, Matt. You just sidle off when you need to.
Yep.
But this Saturday,
there's some good topics I want to get.
It's a full change out of the All Blacks. Shooter Stevenson's rumoured to be playing. Braden Ennor is rumoured to start.
Scotty J. Stevenson.
Yeah, Scotty J. Stevenson is starting at fullback.
A lot of Braden Ennor's family is flying down on the same flight as me to Dunedin on Saturday morning. So the rumours are that he could be in the starting lineup.
We are going to spank the Aussies at the Sistema lunchbox.
Oh
my God.
Oh yeah. It's a great opportunity for All Blacks just to try a few things, and I think they will. I think there'll be 13 or 14 changes to the starting team for this game.
Well, it's going to be Rasley.
Is Hermit McDermott playing again? Taint.
Oh, yeah, no, the cabin boy. The cabin boy will be
Taint
playing.
McDermott.
Yeah, he'll be playing. Don't you worry. He'll be gobbing.
Wouldn't it be great if we got a repeat?
Yeah, just...
Fuck, I'd love to see him get broken in half again.
I'll be peppering the corner as well because Australia will be having nightmares about those lineouts.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, but you're going down there for the pre-game.
Yes.
Manaia at Kensington from midday.
Yeah, very early doors as well.
Ooh, yeah, it's a 2:30 kickoff, this one.
So I think I'll be there at around 11.
Yeah, nice.
Flight gets in at around 9, but as you know, if you've been to Dunedin Airport, it's nowhere near Dunedin.
It's Momona International Airport.
Dunedin does not have an airport, but the very small town of Momona has a ridiculously large airport.
Yeah. So if someone could come pick me up, that'd be great.
That's all thanks to Export Ultra.
Yep.
You've got my credit card.
I do.
You'll be buying people drinks,
Oh, yeah.
which is always dangerous. I think Hamilton was the record. I think you put about $5,000 on it then. That was good.
Yeah. It ran out in record time.
So-
We've had to make a couple of amendments as to how we run these things after Hamilton.
Text Ultra to 3236. You can win one of $350 food and beverage vouchers if you want to get a head start on that as well.
I've got to go, guys. Sorry, but can I just say, because I see you're going to talk about the netty next, so I don't want to do a spoiler, but can I just say, Norma Plummer, brilliant, amazing.
Sure.
Plummer,
The plumber.
Plummer's
You want Norma? You want Norma back?
No, Norma's coaching South Africa.
There's the plum. There's the plum dog.
The plum
dog millionaire.
The plum dog with the resting murder face.
It's beyond bitch, isn't it?
Yeah, resting murder face. That was why we drew.
Okay, let's get into the next one.
All right, okay. Sorry about this.
Get the hell out of here.
Okay,
Get the hell out of here.
Okay.
All right then. See you later. Yeah, the netty. So there's a lot of World Cups going on.
It's the World Cup of World Cups at the moment.
But it's a lot of World Cups going because the netty, you've got the football World Cup, and then we're going into the Rugby World Cup. And then in the Rugby World Cup, we then go straight into the Cricket World Cup.
Yeah.
Can the World Cup committee get together and just sort it out? We can't have this backlog of World Cups because... it's good for us because it's some content.
Yeah, well, 100%. Super Rugby's finished. And the All Blacks had a couple of weeks off. This is why, and I keep coming back to this is the least half-baked sports idea I've ever come up with, and it's the Fight Island idea where every World Cup's held at the exact same event arena, and we set it up somewhere in the deserts of Saudi Arabia, and they just keep cycling through, and they're all held in the same spot.
Yeah.
It would sort out the calendar issue, the scheduling clashes, all this kind of stuff. It would all be at the exact same time.
And the costs. Everyone
and
knows
the
about the
costs.
costs because it looks, look, nothing against South Africa, but that looks like it's been held in Westlake Girls Gymnasium.
Yeah, or the Bruce Pullman Arena.
Yeah, it's at the Bruce Mason Centre in Cape Town. It just looks a bit shit.
Yeah, I know. And even the scheduling, we talked about it earlier this week, that they're playing it like a school holiday tournament.
Yeah, it's a school holiday program. It has to be over in 2 weeks.
Yeah, and there've been complaints by some of the teams have been saying that, that they've had money lifted out of their purses, that people are going through their rooms, that it's just like unsafe over there. It's just such a bizarre setup, and it's like you say, it's massively flying under the radar because you've got the FIFA Women's World Cup, like the most popular sport in the world, football, is playing alongside at the same time. And then our girls had a bloody draw last night.
Yeah, they drew with South Africa, which is not good because it's put them in a tricky situation where they have to win their final against. It's like Jamaica they're playing.
Yes.
Isn't it Jamaica?
Yep.
As you said, they're
hot favourites.
They're hot dark horses favourites.
Yep.
Whatever you say, because you've got Australia, New Zealand, England, and then probably Jamaica. But
Yep.
Jamaica, Sunshine Girls.
Yep.
They've got their visas. So they're over there. They're all over there.
Well, I've always said this, a Jamaican netball team with visas, very hard to beat. Very hard to beat. The only way you can beat them is if you some sort of visa issue where a lot of their stars aren't coming in. You've got women who have just given birth. You've got the coach having to put a bib on and have a crack.
Yeah.
My issue with the draw, though, is netball, the way it's, running clock, they don't stop the clock. It seems to me that draws should be happen more often. And I don't understand why they don't have a contingency for that.
Is there a shot clock?
No, there's no shot clock.
So you could just go backwards and forwards between two players?
That's a very good
Maybe
question.
that's a question we should put to our ACC Netball podcast, actually,
Yeah.
because we've got the court session. It's a special Netball World Cup podcast from Edina Makaiti and Sam Winders. Just 6 eps, so you've got to get onto it. Just search court session or just jump on the ACC website to check it out. They're current ANZ Premiership players.
Yeah.
But they've got no filter.
No, it's great.
Especially Edina.
It's great to pull you behind the curtain. I'd love to hear what they have to say about this draw because, I don't know, There needs to be like a golden point or some sort of situation. We hate this in every sport that there's, a draw. The Ashes, we've been talking about that ad nauseum. Like, how do we play cricket when it's raining, this kind of thing. Obviously, golden point, I feel like, is the answer. In basketball, even just a regular season game in the NBA, even your game down at the YMCA, they'll play overtime until someone's a clear winner.
Do they have to win by 2 points? Is it like squash? Squash, you got to win by 2.
I don't mind that. So you turn the clock off, and it's just whoever can get a 2-point lead first.
Yeah, because I think 1 point's a bit unfair because you kind of...
Yeah, that's right.
There's so many goals. I think if you got to... Maybe it's more than that. I don't know.
I think, or maybe perhaps, how... This is something I always hate about soccer is that after 2 hours of playing, they then go, all right, we couldn't decide who was better by playing that game. We're now going to play a different game and we'll do a penalty shootout. And I just hate that it's a completely different game.
Yeah.
So maybe a bit of one-on-one netball, perhaps.
Just one-on-one
netball tournament.
Or they just go further back to shoot. So they go further back in half quarters, all sorts.
So, a half-court specialist.
So the netties starting to get to the point here. We've got Jamaica and then straight into the semis, I believe.
Yep.
After that, no Grace Nweke. She's gone burger.
Yep.
She's blown a knee.
Yep. Although Maya Wilson seemed to have gone pretty well. Yeah. Having said that, 48 points is a pretty low score for both teams to have ended up on. So
that's not good, But apparently it was a pretty feral crowd there,
right?
In South Africa, they might have turned it their way. But tune into that, and don't forget, get onto the court session with Edina Makati and Sam Winders and check that out. Cricket, bit of controversy. No one wanted a beer with Davey Dum Dum or Steve Smith. We talked about this on the Daily.
Yeah, briefly.
Risk was too high for someone from England to end up sitting between Smith and Davey Dum Dum.
Well, and selfishly, I love that they didn't do it because it gives you something to talk about. It adds another level of drama to the Ashes series, which has been so good this year. Me personally, I would obviously love to go and have a beer with the opposition afterwards if I was playing. That's just because I'm a slave to the bottle. Got nothing to do with gamesmanship or sportsmanship. But I was thinking about it this morning on the way into work. It reminds me of, how at age grade, and to a degree, last man stands and twilight cricket and things like that, when a batsman gets out and you're the next guy in, you go and have a yarn with the guy who just got bowled out.
Yeah.
You do not see professionals do that. Why don't pros do that?
Sometimes they do. I've seen it before, and I think if there's something going on with the pitch, if it's a fucking stupid shot and you've been completely reckless and you've skied it to third man and you look like a penis, you're not gonna.
I know that's
you're not gonna walk off and the mate goes, if I was the guy coming on, I'm like, nice shot, Manaia. I'd say that, but I wouldn't want to engage with anyone. But if it's doing a bit. If it's nipping around, if it's turning, if there's some unusual bounce, I'd go to you, hey, Manaia, just short of a length, you're popping off. Watch out for it.
Yeah.
I think different circumstances dictate when, especially in cricket, when you talk to them. It depends on your level of humiliation and the status of the game.
Yeah, and I think part of it is also when you're playing twilight cricket, you don't know any of the bowlers or any of who you're playing against. So actually the information you need is, what does this guy bowl? Who is he? What does he do?
Invariably in twilight cricket and last man stands is, this is the conversation I usually have with the incoming batsman is, they're fucking hopeless. I can't believe I got out today. That's usually how it goes because the worse the bowler is, it's just like a magnet for getting out because you're like, it's like Matt Heath comes in to bowl to you and you're like, I'm going to hit this to the fucking moon.
Yeah.
And you don't,
reckless.
And you don't time it.
You abandon your game plan.
Yeah. And it goes up in the end, you get caught out and you're just like, why did I do that? And then their best player comes on who can bowl at a good clip, just nice and full and you can actually, get a bit of momentum behind it, play them through the covers. So invariably there's not a lot of chat in business house / LMS.
The other part of it as well is for these pros is it's your career's on the line. So I was having this yarn with my father-in-law over the last summer and I was like, when did they stop having a yarn on the way out? And he's like, look at this guy who's just got out. And he was like steaming mad. He was furious.
He was humiliated himself.
He was ripping his gloves off. He's swinging his bat. He was practicing the shot that he should have done. And he was like, you could see him like MFing the whole way out to the boundary. He's like, have a look at this guy's face. Would you want to talk to him right now? Like, what are you going to do? Just go over there. Oh, you really fucked that one up, didn't you? Yeah.
I'd love to just go, good one, mate.
Yeah, nice one.
Like if you're the other one coming back in, thanks for that, mate. I was having a shit.
They'll bump me up the order next week. Thanks for doing that.
Thanks, mate. Hey, also, just on if you are going to get stuck in behind the All Blacks for this upcoming Rugby Championship and indeed throughout the World Cup. Thanks to Dulux, we've got a pretty epic Panasonic home theatre system to give away. We're worth over $6,000.
This is ridiculous.
55-inch OLED TV, a Panasonic soundbar, Technics wireless headphones, as you said, Manaia. Great for when you got the MIDI and she's pretty pissed off with you and you can just watch sport with the headphones on. Plus $500 worth of Dulux products. Text Dulux to 3236 for all the details. It's all about back in black, painting something black. We'll send you out a test pot, paint your letterbox, paint your fence, paint your toys, paint your dog, paint a cup, paint your pint.
Just about painted my cat this morning. I was so sick of that bloody thing.
Just paint anything and send it through to us. We don't really care. And you're in the draw to win that $6,000 worth of prizes thanks to Dulux and Back in Black. White on of the week. No Warriors for you, Manaia. So you've got little thickness in the downstairs region.
Nah, very little thickness. The All Blacks really didn't give me much of a wide. I got to be honest. I know we've talked about it ad nauseum, but that dog roll hit has got to have been the wide odd of the week.
Yeah.
That was full on like falling out with your mates on the couch laughing when that happened. It was.
I felt part of me did feel for the cabin boy Tate McDermott because when he got flattened, like his forwards completely let him down. There is a level of protection you need to provide, like the quarterback.
It was a quarterback sack.
It was a sacking and a half. It was like he basically sat his sacks on his face. That's how much of a sacking it was.
Well, he'd lost the locker room, quite clearly. It was like in The Longest Yard where they let the guy get through to Adam Sandler just to teach him a lesson. That's basically what it was like. And you never see, that was like Heartland or NPC level shit. You don't see that in professional rugby.
Yeah.
That level of sacking.
And also that he got him. He was quite vulnerable as well because he was still concentrating on gathering the ball because it got bobbled back to him. So the cabin boy was purely just looking at the ball, and then half a second later he had 120 kg of dog roll all over him.
But he also did hesitate as well. I've watched the replay a million times this week, and he wound up to throw the pass. If he had just caught it and got rid of it, like I would have done, then he probably wouldn't have got smashed like that. But that for me was a wide on. Like you said, no worries this week.
Okay, attendance required. The Warriors are back against the Titans Friday night, 8 p.m. Sky Sport 9, and coverage brought to you by 4 and 20 Pies. Henwood's fizzing at the bunghole. These next 5 games are must wins.
Well, no, they're not really must wins.
We should win.
We should win. So we're sitting on 3rd at the moment. The way that the playoffs work in the NRL is very confusing, whereby the top 4 teams get 2 bites at the cherry, so you can lose your first round and then you get another chance. So basically that means that the winner always comes from the top 4. We're sitting in 3rd at the moment. So the way, your Cam Smiths and all these guys, your Gus Goulds are making their predictions for how the ladder's going to sit after the next 5 weeks, and they've all got the Warriors still in the top 4.
Yeah.
Which means home semis. It means home playoff games, which we haven't had in a long, long time. Last time we were in the playoffs was 2018. We got pantsed by the Panthers over there. So
we've got Jazz back. Jazz
has been named on the extended bench. This is the jiggery-pokery they do in the NRL where they name him on the extended bench. You actually don't know what that means. Is he going to be...
What's the extended bench?
So they name like 23 players, and so they have an extended bench of players that they can use on game day should they so choose. And then they name a full team that they intend to start. But there's a whole lot of jiggery-pokery that happens between the Tuesday when they name the teams and the Friday when they actually play the game.
That's a squad.
That's basically a squad. My guess is that they will drop Bailey Sirinen off the bench and they will put Jazz Tavanga in there, which will reunite the Bald brothers, who were so instrumental for us at the start of the season. But this will be an excellent game. Friday, 8 p.m, I think is a great time. You're either still at the pub or you've gone home, you're parked up on the couch, you're under a blanket, a few beers.
Yeah, and if you've got kids, they should be in bed by then. It's perfect timing, 8 p.m.
It's the best. Against the Titans as well, who are quite a fun team to watch. They've got David Fafita, who's an absolute wrecking ball. Fafita! Brimson. They've got Jaden Campbell's kids playing for them as well, so should be a good game.
8 foot Fafita. Sky Sport 9. So forget about Sky 4 and the Missionary. Get on to Sky Sport 9. Di Henwood is back. He's fizzing absolutely at the bung. Also attendance required. AB's afternoon footy as well. What a weekend. You've got an 8 p.m. kickoff for the Wires, and then on Saturday afternoon at 2:30.
I love that.
Live from the Sistema lunchbox. It's All Blacks versus Australia. Check it out, because I think this is going to be a a great game with some new faces in the All Blacks team, new and exciting players.
I want to see some trick plays.
Hody Narawa, hopefully he's in there. Narawa.
I heard some rumours that he might have tweaked an ankle or something.
Did he?
So perhaps I wouldn't mind seeing Lester Whanganuku. He needs a couple of
Dallas
reps.
McLeod's going to be in there as well.
Dallas McLeod's an All Black. Yeah, I forgot
there
about
you
that.
go. So look, Finau for the Chiefs. He's rumored to be playing. Tony Finau, some fresh off the PGA Tour. But that is on Sky Sport 9 also. But it's also simulcast on Radio Hauraki and on iHeartRadio. So get onto that. She's good to have the Waz and the All Blacks back. Rightio. Well, the TAB good punt for this week.
Yep.
I'm going close to home on this one. I'm going first try scorer Braden Ennell.
Oh!
Without even knowing whether he's in the starting lineup.
Brother of Courtney.
Who works with us. There's much excitement in the Ennell family.
There is a lot of excitement.
I mean, my God, there's so much excitement. And I feel like it's written in the stars. He hasn't had a start for the All Blacks in God knows how long.
No.
And I think it's written in the stars that he will. Look, what do you think? I think first try scorer or any tied try scorer?
Well, obviously, first try scorer is going to be paying a lot.
Yeah.
That's the attractive. And actually, if you got on it, the market may not be out yet because the team won't have been named. By the time you're listening to this, the team will have been named. I reckon we go full balls out. First try scorer.
First try scorer.
There's a huge omen for me is the Ennell envoy that is coming down from the North Island. They've chartered an entire half of a plane.
You can hear them before you see them.
Oh, yeah.
There's foghorns. Absolute foghorns.
So they're all heading down there, which, that's a huge omen for me. It's going to be a home game for him, basically.
Do you know how you can spot the Ennell family? They're all in oversized Adidas gear that's handed down from Braden.
Yes.
Including his sister as well, who's probably 1/10 the size of Braden, but still manages to get into an XL rugby training shirt.
Oh, 100%.
You got the dad, Stewie.
Yeah.
Stewie's trying to get into All Blacks gear as well. And
dear friend of the pod.
Yeah, dear friend of the pod. He looks like a man who's basically gone into someone's wardrobe who's 3 sizes larger and dressed himself.
Yeah, well, the giveaway is whenever sister of Braden will come into the office in about $10,000 worth of Adidas gear, and you're just like,
what happened there?
Did you go to Dress Smart on the weekend, did you, mate? So, huge omen. I love an omen bet.
There you go. First try scorer, Braden Ennell, going with the vibe rather than anything else, because we haven't even got the starting 15. We're just presuming he's going to start.
He might not play.
It would be an aggressive bet if we put a first try scorer and he didn't even make the field. But right now it's time for
Toppa Plays of the Week. Brought to you by Leader NZ's Lasagna Toppa.
Now, what warms the heart, Manaia Stewart, is the amount of content coming in of people streaking with no clothes on.
Yes.
No. It is warming the cockles of my heart to see that they're not carrying phones. It's rural New Zealand. I saw one on a motorbike. I've seen one in a wheelchair.
Yep.
It's great stuff. It's restored my faith in humanity.
Yeah.
And a cracker came in the other week. It was a double streak. Unfortunately, the second streaker had an absolute mozzie, just didn't quite work the gradient out there of the dead ball area.
Look, if you want to chuck a pair of boots on, I'm fine with that.
Totally.
I'm fine with the boots.
I'm fine with boots because he lost traction and absolutely face planted, which added to it.
Yeah, 100%.
But a double streak is good.
Double streak all the way across. What does it mean? It was great to watch. He was holding a hat. I feel like that was for protection when he got to the other side, but it was a good streak. They didn't try and interact with the players.
And they picked a moment in the game. It wasn't moving.
Well, the ref had just blown something up. I think it was like a knock on or something. So, righto, here we go. It was respectful streaking. They respectfully took all their clothes off. They respectfully waited for the right moment in the game.
Yep.
And with NPC and Heartland starting up again,
absolutely,
I'm looking forward to a good return to the old-fashioned streak.
Yeah, don't pick your team. You got to have match awareness. That's key as well.
And have some respect for the art of streaking.
Yeah. I've seen something come out of the US, though, that has piqued my interest around streaking. And they call it protect the asset. Have you seen that?
No.
So basically, it involves a mass streak, but one person's nude, and then there's 4 people dressed up like Secret Service. And they basically surround the streaker. And when security come to get the streaker, they take the security out.
Right, they make a pocket like
so they protect the asset. So the asset's running around while
offensive linemen are creating a pocket for him.
But they're all in black suits, sunglasses with fake earpieces in, and so to protect the asset. Now, look, if you're out there and you can do a protect the asset during Heartland, it's so good because not that there's much security at Heartland, you probably get away with it.
None,
none at all. But So watch this space. We'll probably we'll share that protect the asset one because I think it's a goodie.
Yeah.
Righto. Number 2 on the Toppa plays of the week. This got sent to us. It was a women's rugby match. I'm not sure if it's in New Zealand or not, but oh my God, it's absolutely sent into the sub canopy. Probably one of the biggest gagooshes I've ever seen. It was off a kickoff. It went deep into the 22, and like an absolute piss missile, one of the players comes out of nowhere and hits around the chest.
Yeah.
And I think with women's rugby as well, when they've got long hair, because you know how when you watch league,
Bantia 4.
yeah, when the long hair, it kind of accentuates the hit.
Yeah, it's the Bundy effect.
And the women's rugby, when you've got a long blonde ponytail,
Yeah.
and someone snaps you in half, it just sends the dramatic scale of that hit up a notch.
I don't know what it is about women's rugby as well. The hits are just enormous, and I can't put my finger on exactly what it is.
Is that there is quite a big size
discrepancy
Yeah,
is
and-
definitely
yeah,
part of it.
yeah.
Which is another one of my favourite things about NPC and Heartland, where you've got like size discrepancy and talent discrepancy, where you got like a barber playing against a borderline All Black. But yeah, this is great. It's what we love about rugby. It's what we love about collision sports. It's why we watch it. And like you said, it's an absolute gooch rattler.
Yeah, and geez, her goosh will be rattling for quite a number of days. And of course, number 1, it has to be, it's dog roll flattening the cabin boy and then shushing him.
Aaron Smith with the foresight and a quick line out from Australia. They went, oh, Berry! Oh, what a hit! Woo-hoo! Dog roll! Dog roll! The line out was a schmozzle. Came through dog roll. He flattened McDermott like a pancake. And the All Blacks storm through and score.
Yeah, so good. Kind of listening back at that, I didn't actually tell everyone that we scored a try. It just presumed that dog roll had killed someone.
Well, and it didn't look like we had. I didn't really know what had happened because you couldn't see. Shannon Frizzell picked the ball up and dotted it down in the same motion.
Yeah.
So all you saw was this guy get flattened, the ball squirts out, and then play stops.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, did we stop because that kid just died? Yeah. No, Shannon Frizzell scored a try.
Dog roll, he really was terrorising the halfbacks, wasn't he? Because he flattened the cabin boy and then he spent the second half shushing Nick White.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. I don't know where that came from dog roll either. It was pretty out of character.
It is out of character, and it's kind of like it's like the ultimate bully.
Yeah.
Like one of the biggest dudes on the park,
Yeah.
picking on two of the smallest people on the park.
And he said that he was shushing him because Nick White just does not shut up for the entire game.
Yeah.
He's always squawking. And I feel like there needs to be an element of that. Like you should fear that guy that's twice your size.
Totally. And also, how has someone not shushed Aaron Smith? Because Aaron Smith squawks. He literally squawks like a seagull, like some sort of albatross for the whole time. Because you can hear it on the effects,
Through the ref's mic, yeah. You can hear him the entire time, particularly at scrum time where he's like willing the team on. You just hear him. Rah, rah.
So
it's great. Dear friend of mine.
Yeah, dear friend of yours.
Go back and listen to the podcast. Came out last week. There's 3 episodes. So if you haven't listened to those already, go and listen to them.
And you got 2 of us, Shek, Rog, your old mate Rog. Is that coming out this weekend?
My old mate Rog, yeah. That'll come out on the Saturday. We've got 2 parts. We've split this into a bit of rugby union chat, and then we've split it into a bit of rugby league chat. Obviously, selfishly, the rugby league chat for me was a bit more exciting, and it was great insight from him, particularly around what he sees from the Warriors this year, why he thinks they're different. And my favourite part is why he thinks Sean Johnson's playing so well this year. Is basically, he said he's making babies on the sideline. That should give you a good indicator.
He's making babies.
Of why he's playing so well this year. He's making babies on the sideline. So yeah, that'll be out Saturday and Sunday. Make sure you do it.
Yeah.
Well, if you subscribe to this, you'll see it.
It'll pop up. But don't forget, we've got a whole lot of stuff to give away. We've got a whole lot of merch to give away. All you have to do is jump on wherever you get your podcast. Give us. Slag us off, give us 5 stars and then slag us off. Because we don't really care about the comments, and some of the comments are quite cutting and they do hurt. But just make sure you click the 5 stars and then abuse us. And then if we read it out, we'll send you out a Set of the Ship hat and maybe even a Thanks Mate t-shirt as well.
Yeah.
Righto. Have a great day.
Alrighty.
See you tomorrow on the Daily.
All right.
You've been listening to the ACC's Agenda podcast. For more episodes, subscribe on iHeartRadio or wherever you get your podcasts.